This is a motel just outside the city of Washington, D.C. Secretly, it's run by a Russian mobster known as the Commissar, but to us, it's the best place to live in Payday 2 when you make about $103K a year. You see, rent per month here is about $2,700, which is actually a little on the high end for somebody in the tax bracket of 22%. To find out if we can afford to live in this location, I took a closer look at some real-life motels located just outside of Washington, D.C. I took the average cost of a room per night and multiplied it by 30.5, which is the average length of a month. It's a close estimate. Don't hate me. And speaking of me, I'm the guy that's about to tell you the best locations in Payday 2 to live, depending on your tax bracket. Now, Payday 2 is a large variety of heists that take us to a ton of locations, typically in the Washington, D.C. area. You probably remember the game fondly for fast-paced horde shooter action, squeaky drills, and a sick musical score. Today I will be talking to you about none of those things. We will instead be going over my top picks for places to live in Payday 2 heists, based on how much money you make and give to the IRS each year. Right here we can see a list of tax brackets for a citizen living in the United States of America. We're going to take the maximum amount from each bracket, simplify it down to a number kind of like this, just so it's a little easier to digest, and we're going to use these numbers as our tax brackets. Now we will be making two exceptions here. We're going to be labeling the bottom bracket for those of us that are unemployed as doesn't pay taxes, and it will essentially be $0. We will also be making an exception for the top bracket here, and assume you have infinite money, we will also be labeling it as doesn't pay taxes. Topical. Right here I've also got the percentages for each bracket in case you wanted to know how much of your income is going to Uncle Sam, but we're mostly going to be focusing on how much you make each year, and that will be used to calculate things like rent and mortgage payments. Speaking of, here's an explanation of how we chose each location. Let's take a look here at our $103,000 bracket again. What I've done is taken our yearly income of $103K and divided it by 12. Now we have what we make monthly. From my research, I found that financial advisors have a general rule that you should be spending about 30% of your monthly income on rent or mortgage. So we're going to take 30% of our monthly income and it's going to give us this number. Now we have a general idea of what we should be spending on rent per month, which in this tax bracket is $2,575. Now from here I took a look at the Payday 2 heists and tried to find a good location that fits the rent bracket. And for this one we arrived at Hotline Miami. Pretty neat, huh? I hope you think it's neat, because we're about to go through every single tax bracket and choose some more locations, whether you want me to or not. The video will continue on. Now, we'd probably be here forever, which is a good thing for me and a bad thing for you if I showed you all the individual calculations. So we're going to do them all at once right here. Here are the income numbers I use for each bracket. Now here they are divided by 12. That gives us the monthly income again. And here's the monthly rent for each bracket. This is the number we're going to be using to decide if we can live in each location, give or take a little bit, so it's the most important number we're going to be working with. We've already done the 103K bracket, so we're just going to fit the Hotline Miami motel right there. That's enough explanation. I think we should just get into the part of the video that you actually came here for. Unless you like math, you big nerd. You're adorable. Also, if you are a big nerd, please leave a comment letting me know if you have better suggestions for locations, or if you think my estimates are off, so tell me I'm wrong. Commenters love to do that. Anyway, on to the rest of the video. So, you're unemployed, just like me. Again. Nice. We make $0 per year, and the IRS takes 10% of that, which is great news for us, because that means they don't get a dime. That makes it pretty easy to find some heist locations to live in, actually. The first one that came to mind for me is actually right here. The Aftershock Homeless Camp. Look at this place. It's got everything. Look at all this stuff it's got. It's got a bed, it's got warmth, it's got shelter. We can probably eat rats for food. We could tell campfire stories with the other unemployed scum living there. It's a pretty sick deal overall, honestly. And it's free, which is the best part, because we make $0. It's probably my number one pick for our $0 bracket, but let's hit two more places that I found. One that was suggested by my community is actually the Cook-Off House. It's a condemned house in the middle of the woods. And condemned means no one is living there except us, for free. It even comes with an infinite supply of rock candy if you're willing to source the ingredients from a local hardware store. And by that I mean steal them. If you get caught stealing ingredients from the hardware store to make rock candy, then you're going to end up in our final $0 location, which is Hell's Island. It's a prison. That's right, if you're broke, you can always go to prison where you'll have a roof over your head. You really can't beat 3 square meals a day, your own bedroom, bathroom. This is honestly like the best bracket besides the last one, but I'm gonna move on anyway. Our first location in the $48,000 bracket is gonna bring us here to 4 stores. This was actually a very tough bracket to choose a location for because a lot of reasons. But it really comes down to the fact that living in Washington, D.C. is like really expensive, like super expensive. If you only make about $48K a year, you're not living in D.C. What I'm saying is you're totally broke. For that reason, we're going to stretch things a little bit and say that you're living in a studio apartment right here above the 4 stores. It's pretty common in major cities for them to build upwards instead of out, so it's actually incredibly common to see apartments above coffee shops or any other corner store like we see here in 4 stores. Rent here is probably going to come out to about $1,500 a month from what I can find, which again, it's a bit above our parameters, but it's good enough. You're not going to get much better for $48K a year. You'll kind of just be on a ramen noodle diet for a majority of the month if you want to live, but any additional money you make can of course go to the coffee shop just downstairs, and you can support some local business in the area, so the economy is cool that way. You're just kind of circulating money to your local community. You should do that. Keep doing that. Buy locally. Alright, so we're off to an okay start, I think, with that first bracket, living above 4 stores. I want to briefly revisit our location from the intro, which, if you've already forgotten somehow, is the motel from Hotline Miami. If you're making a little over $100K a year, the motel from Hotline Miami is a pretty good choice. It's about $2,700 in rent, which is above our recommended 30% of monthly income again, but it's not too bad and it's pretty close. It's on the edge of town, so you're not in a super busy part of the city. The actual rooms are pretty decent and come equipped with a full-size bathroom. There's also a decent bed, from what I can tell, in each of the rooms. And you've also got a gas station right here next door for some snack breaks late at night. There's a parking lot outside where you can place your car, since you can actually afford one since you're living here at a decent price. And it seems to be relatively urban. The surrounding area has probably plenty to do, I would imagine. The downside is motel Wi-Fi, but everything else is pretty positive, I think. It's really all I had to add to this place. For $103K a year, I think you're living pretty good for the Washington, D.C. area, honestly. For the next tier, we're going to be looking at my YouTube channel. Wow. If you've been enjoying the video so far, please consider subscribing, liking, or leaving a comment to keep the algorithm hyped up. This video marks the beginning of my attempt to do YouTube and other content creation at least part-time, with hopes to move full-time. Any support you can offer helps a lot, and just by being here it means a lot to me. If this video does well, you can expect plenty more long research videos similar to this one. I already have some things written down for these games right here, as a matter of fact. So it won't just be Payday content either, which is nice. Spread the word, I want to do this full-time with your support. Anyway, now we're getting to the big numbers. $196K a year is when you can start telling people, yeah, I make 6 figures. 6 figures every year. And you actually mean it. What better way to show you got the big bucks than by living at Midland Ranch? Now this is our first bracket to complicate things a little bit. From what I can tell, a lot of the value in a ranch of this caliber is in the land and the acreage. A ranch like this goes on the market for a little more than what I'm listing, but we're going to pretend it's in the middle of nowhere, so the price is down as a result, making it worth about probably $900K. And also, we're going to include property tax here because we're going to be owning the place. I use an online mortgage calculator right here to figure out the following information based on buying a location worth $900K in Midland, Texas. We are considering that we have a $900,000 loan, 20% down payment, which is the average for things like this usually, a 30-year loan term, which is typically what you want to do for a house. We have an interest rate of about 5%, which is the average on something like this when you have extremely good credit. And we estimated the property taxes based on the zip code, so in this case, Midland, Texas. That means, with all of this put together, we are looking at monthly payments of $5,300 for our happy little slice of life in the middle of nowhere. Not too shabby if you ask me. There's a lot of land here, and some of that extra money can go straight to horses, crops, illegal gun running. Since you're in the middle of nowhere, what else are you gonna do? Midland Ranch comes equipped with a super nice ranch house with multiple rooms and offices. It's got a full kitchen so you can make some fancy meals with your freshly slaughtered livestock, and it's also got sleeping quarters for your staff. During the day, you can spend your time here in the various barns and sheds around the entire ranch. You can tend to the land, you can be over on the shooting range plinking away, and as a Texan, I feel right at home here on the ranch, so I think this is my choice. Now what if we want something a little more near civilization? Let us look no further than my choice for the $250K bracket. Hoxton Revenge. We're going to cheat a little on this one since it's actually a little bit out of our price range, but there weren't too many options in this bracket either. The wealth disparity in the Payday universe is pretty insane. You're either living in squalor underneath an underpass, or living like a king with like $1 billion in the Scarface mansion. Anyway, for all those reasons combined, we're going to take a slice of suburbia here, and we're going to go with Hoxton Revenge as our house for the $250K bracket. We are going to pretend that this house is worth about $1.3 million. And use similar information to our previous calculations. 20% down payment, 30-year loan term, 5% interest, and I calculated with Washington, D.C. for the property taxes. It comes out to about $6,250 a month, which is right on the money. Please laugh. This house is pretty sick for the price that we got it. It's got like tons of bedrooms, A really nice basement, a nice little yard, a beautiful neighborhood in the surrounding area, a panic room in case the apocalypse starts, and you just spend a few months away from civilization. And it's also got a really nice porch. I don't know if you've noticed the porch, it's really nice. I also noticed that the neighborhood seems like it's really well taken care of. It's truly a very safe location where you can raise 2.5 children with your significant other, grow old together, and pay taxes at a rate of 32% of your income. It was a pretty obvious choice for this tax bracket if you ask me, but I'm a suburbia enjoyer myself. However, you know it'd be better than living in suburbia in my beautiful $1 million home? Living in the woods in my beautiful multi-million-dollar home. This is the house from Big Oil Day 2. It's a secret facility located in the middle of the woods that has a value I can only estimate because it's one of a kind. We're gonna pretend this bad boy here costs $3 million on the dot, because it's similar to lake houses I found online. So, there you go. Let me know in the comments if you think it's worth more or less, because I really couldn't tell for sure. I'm kind of leaning towards more, but we're just working with what I got here. Same calculations as before, 5% interest, 20% down payment, 30-year loan term brings us to about $14,350 a month, which I think is pretty darn close to what we're supposed to be paying. So great. And for all that money, you get a beautiful home, lovely decor, a fantastic view, and your own runway to get out fast if the feds come knocking, because you and I both know you cheated on your taxes to get this place. I think the highlight for me is the entire sidewall, just made of glass. It's very nice, very beautiful. Love it. I can look out at everything with a big old smile on my face. But for you, maybe you're more of a sick bathroom enjoyer. I don't know what that was supposed to mean. I'm really not trying to imply anything, man. I like the bathroom too. Don't make it weird. You can kick back and relax in the comfortable movie room, or take up one of the many offices as your gamer den. You can get a good workout going here in the gym, or maybe just go for a nature hike to kill some time. Let's also not forget the lovely pool that definitely has water in it at all times, and the full-size kitchen here to make some delicious meals. Now, speaking of delicious meals, let's hear from today's sponsor. It's still me, please feed me. I'm hungry. Now that's mostly it for the tax bracket locations, because that just leaves us with one more tax bracket to go. And the question now is, which Payday 2 heist would you live in if you don't pay taxes because you make so much money? So you threw away your morals in favor of taking advantage of people for monetary gain. You have unlimited money. You own the entirety of the Crude Awakening heist. You can live anywhere you want. Where do you go? The White House. Topical. Again, I'm just kidding. But if you had infinite money, you would probably go to any of these locations that I'm about to list here, including various mansions and multi-room penthouses. Let's go one at a time here. Scarface Mansion, a beautiful mansion from the movie Scarface. If you're getting into Payday 2, you actually can't buy this right now, so sorry, the licensing expired. Bye-bye. This lovely mansion with tens of rooms has a beautiful fenced-in yard, an expansive garden, and beautiful dock overlooking a lake during a beautiful sunset. Truly a slice of heaven compacted into just 30 acres of land. Next up for this bracket here we have Mountain Master, the entire top floor of a beautiful hotel in downtown Washington, D.C. Expansive rooms, marble architecture, these weird statue things, roof access to a helipad where you can fly to any of the other places on this list because you probably own it as well. This is probably my choice for the bracket as it seems to have everything, plus the Wi-Fi is probably pretty good and the beds look really comfy. Look at that. That's a comfortable looking bed. Next up, we've got another mansion, and that's Bullock's Mansion, this time located on the coast of Mexico. Beautiful, classic Mexican architecture with a big garage and tons of space to host parties. The wine cellar is also included in that, of course. If that's not your thing, there's also room for supervillain shenanigans. Scary shark tank included. Look at this guy. Spooky. Possibilities for this place are pretty endless. And with your infinite stores of money, you can run a cartel out of this location just like Bullock does. Framing Frame Day 3 is going to be our final venue for this video. I couldn't really find a value for this place, so we're just going to assume that you own the multi-floor penthouse apartment located in downtown Washington, D.C. It's the perfect place to be a corrupt politician. Vault included, it stores all your illegally acquired gold, plus it's got this cool piano. That was a cool song. I don't know what it was. Tetris, maybe? The whole place is pretty modern, and that means sweaty gamers like myself can kick back and relax on the Nintendo Switch wherever we want. Several floors means you can have a large, lavish party whenever you want, and I'm sure you could get away with a sick nap on one of these freaking chairs. Whatever. That's pretty much it for me. Those are my choices for where I'd live in Payday 2 heist based on my yearly income and tax bracket. What are your choices? If you had the choice to live somewhere in Payday 2's expansive heist selection, where would it be? I've been lucky. Have a good day.